For shoulder extension, the subject is seated with no obstruction behind the humerus, and the humerus is in the neutral position. The position of the goniometer is the same for shoulder flexion. The client's arm is brought back to the back of the body into the sagittal plane of movement, and the measurement begins at 0 and ranges to 60 degrees. And his range of motion is 55 degrees. Okay, for elbow extension, the subject is lying supine on the bed. I'm going to take a towel roll and place it under the distal humerus with the palm facing up. So under the distal humerus here, with palm facing up, in full supine position. The goniometer is going to be over the lateral epicondyle of the humerus. The stationary arm in line with the acromion process, and the moving arm is in line with the radial styloid process. So that measures at 0 degrees of flexion. For shoulder internal rotation, the subject is seated with humerus adducted against the trunk, elbow at 90 degrees, and the forearm at mid position and perpendicular to the body. The axis for the goniometer is on the olecranon process of the elbow, and so the stationary bar and movable bar are parallel to the forearm. The client's forearm is swung towards the body through a horizontal plane of movement. The humerus must remain adducted. The range of motion begins at 0 degrees and is completed at 60 degrees. Measurement is 58 degrees. Shoulder abduction. The subject is seated with the humerus in abduction and external rotation. The axis on the goniometer is on the acromion process on the posterior surface of the shoulder. The stationary bar is parallel to the trunk, and the movable bar is parallel to the humerus. The client's arm is raised to the side of the body in a frontal plane of movement. The measurement begins at 0 and ranges to 170. And this measures at 135. Elbow flexion. Subject is seated with the humerus adducted and externally rotated and the forearm supinated. The axis of the goniometer is placed over the lateral epicondyle of the humerus. I'm sorry, I was trying to remember. I know you said just to keep going, but I'm like. Elbow flexion. Subject is seated with the humerus adducted and externally rotated and the forearm supinated. The axis of the goniometer is placed over the lateral epicondyle of the humerus at the end of the elbow crease. The stationary bar is parallel to the midline of the humerus, and the movable bar is parallel to the radius. The client forearm begins in an extended position and is raised in the sagittal plane of movement. The measurement begins at 0 and can range up to 150 degrees. And we have 130 degrees. Shoulder external rotation. For shoulder external rotation, the subject is seated with the humerus adducted, the elbow at 90 degrees, the forearm in mid position perpendicular to the body. The axis of the goniometer is on the olecranon of the elbow, and the stationary bar and movable bar are parallel to the forearm. The client's forearm is swung out from the body in the horizontal plane of movement. The humerus must remain adducted. Measurement begins at 0 degrees and ranges up to 80 degrees. And his measurement is at 60 degrees.